Hello, I am Marcelo Sartori Locatelli, and I will be presenting the paper Characterizing Vaccination Movements on YouTube in the United States and Brazil, co-authored by Josemar Caetano, Wagner Meira Jr., and Virgílio Almeida. Social networks such as YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram are important sources of information. However, they are also the main places where disinformation, denialist narratives, and confusion grow. Comments on such platforms play an important part in discussion and represent the relation between different groups and content. In this context, misinformation leads to more group polarization. Thus, social networks play a role in identifying and removing misinformation. During the COVID-19 pandemic, a vast volume of information on the topic of vaccines was widely seen online. This is the so-called infodemic, as the information can be misleading, uncertain, and ambiguous, which led to further polarization. Brazil and the United States are some of the countries affected by this phenomenon. Both countries also have the highest death tolls due to the disease. Thus, studying the behavior of anti-vaccine and pro-vaccine groups may enable more effective courses of action to mitigate the consequences of such polarization. In this paper, we will be studying the social network YouTube to answer the following questions. What are the characteristics that differentiate pro-vaccine and anti-vaccine online comments? What kind of language drives engagement in online comments? What are similarities and differences between pro- and anti-vaccination campaigns in the United States and Brazil? And what are the characteristics of the pro- and anti-vaccine videos removed from YouTube? For this, we collected data on 142 channels, both anti- and pro-vaccine, and all the vaccine-related videos and comments on those videos from these channels. We also detected video takedowns. We used the user engagement metric to evaluate if user engagement is influenced by the nature of the content. We also used sentiment analysis for English comments to further analyze the relationship between content and comments. The engagements in YouTube may be calculated as the total number of replies over the number of comments in video. We also used some metrics to evaluate the tone of comments. Those metrics are valence and toxicity. Valence measures the prominence of a term among pro and anti-vaccine users, while toxicity identifies rude, disrespectful, or unreasonable comments. We also analyzed the lexical categories from comments and from the video transcripts by using the empath tool to analyze emotions in removed and non-removed anti- and pro-vaccine video transcripts and comments. We also analyzed the correlation between video and comments emotions and their cosine similarity, calculated as the cosine between the empath of the transcripts and the mean empath of the comments. As for the results, we noticed that the United States registered the highest percentage of removed anti-vaccine videos with 34%, while Brazil registered the lowest with 9.8%. Additionally, we noticed that very few pro-vaccine videos were removed, and also that no pro-vaccine channels were removed. This suggests that YouTube can detect anti-vaccine content, and also that YouTube measures are more effective for some languages and countries. As for the user engagement in the United States, it can be seen that for pro-vaccine comments, positive comments drove more engagement than negative comments. The opposite is true for anti-vaccine comments. Additionally, it can be seen that anti-vaccine comments registered more engagement than pro-vaccine comments. Also, removed content had much more engagement than non-removed content. Finally, it can be seen that comments with links and hashtags registered lower engagement, which could suggest that users are more interested in purely textual comments. As for the engagement in Brazil, the opposite could be seen from the United States, as pro-vaccine content registered higher engagements. However, it can be seen that removed videos still had more engagement in their comments than their non-removed counterparts. Finally, the same behavior could be observed with the comments with links and hashtags. When looking at the valency metric, it can be seen that in anti-vaccine content in the United States, there are more terms related to conspiracy theories, such as CCP and communist, and more terms related to alternative medicine, such as ivermectin and inject disinfectant. While on pro-vaccine comments, there are more terms related to protective measures, such as administration and presidency. In Brazil, the same behavior can be seen, as the terms in anti-vaccine are such as hydroxychloroquine, communist, terrorist, while on pro-vaccine, the terms are more related to protective measures such as healthy and mask. When looking at toxicity, it can be seen that anti-vaccine comments have much higher toxicity percentage than pro-vaccine comments. Finally, we look at the lexical categories. There it can be seen that comments tend to have greater metrics in positive categories, while transcripts do not seem to show high score in negative categories in general. Additionally, transcripts from videos that are still online seem to have greater positive scores than their removed counterparts. Finally, comments on anti-vaccine videos have shown greater negative scores in almost all categories, in both the online videos and the removed videos. We then look at the correlation between the lexical, the empath, and the similarity, and we can see that pro-vaccine videos with less fraction of negative emotions on their transcripts have high similarity between caption and comments, while anti-vaccine transcripts showed positive correlations with negative empath categories, suggesting that a higher fraction of negative emotions correlates to a high similarity. In other words, whenever content creator and commenters' views are aligned, anti-vaccine videos show more negative emotions, while pro-vaccine videos show less negative emotions. Thus, anti-vaccine videos are more similar to their comment section when they show negative emotions, with the opposite being true for pro-vaccine content. Then we can discuss that negative emotions are much more popular and prevalent in anti-vaccine comment sections and content, as evidenced by the higher toxicity and higher engagement on negative sentiments. Additionally, the removal of anti-vaccine content on YouTube seems to be insufficient to stop anti-vaccine videos, as a low percentage of videos were removed at the end of the tracking period. There is also a contrast between the anti-vaccine and pro-vaccine groups evidenced by their discourse, as anti-vaccine discourse is much more related to conspiracy theories, misinformation and alternative medicine, while pro-vaccine discourse is related to protective measures. Finally, user engagement is much higher on comments in removed videos, which could suggest that content deemed inappropriate leads to more discussion. Future work in this area could explore whether the same tendencies can be observed in other contexts of polarization and other social networks, as well as how effective are the actions taken by YouTube and other social networks in limiting the spread of misinformation. Thanks for watching.